All right, everyone. I see some people popping in here. Love that. Just like the title says, we are talking NBA Draft 2023. Scooter Henderson versus Victor Wembanyama. It's happening, whether you like it or not. And we're going to talk about it. I'm going to get Evan up here in a second. I know he's requested. He's going to co-host with me. I don't want to cancel my invite on him. I know hopefully he'll see it. Oh, cool. Well, Spaces isn't going to let him join because he wants to be weird. So love that for us. Great start for us, guys. But we are going to discuss Scoot Henderson, 6'2", 195 pounds, 6'9" wingspan. And then the albatross, the unicorn, the other adjectives you want to throw in here. 7'5", barefoot center, Victor Wembanyama. Absolute animal. Did not play in Eurobasket, though, which is a little concerning for injury purposes, but was a good player for Tony Parker's team in France, is now playing for actually Boris Diaw's team, of all people. So, the French connection, very real, folks. Evan has made it. I can hear him. We are saved. The Twitter was twittering, man. That's what it happens. So, of course. So, Evan, I know you wanted to talk about Victor Wembanyama first. You have a lot to say about him because he is an incredibly intriguing prospect. A lot of people saying, generational kind of talent. Really only has one flaw right now, and that's that he's a bit thin. Otherwise, he's got wingspan for days, if not weeks. He basically doesn't even have to jump off the ground to get the rim. And he is a true rim protector because of those arms. Why is if you had to choose between the two, is he your number one pick? If yes, why? If not, why not? Yeah, scary is a good word. Scary is a very good word. He is the kind of player who, if you get him at number one, and he does all the things you think he can do or he's capable of, that can change your franchise. If he turns into an Andrea Bargnani, you've done something horribly wrong, and you might have set yourselves back another 3 years. That's the most terrifying part, I think, for me. Especially from a Spurs perspective. If you're the Spurs and you hit on Wembanyama, great, you're geniuses. Nobody doubted you for a second. If you don't hit on Wembanyama, you're the biggest dunces on this planet, and you all deserve to get fired. Like there's going to be no in between. I feel like it's terrifying. But like you were mentioning, his offense is great. The defense is great. The only thing on offense I'd say right now is there are times he plays like an 18-year-old where he realizes, okay, if I don't get something going, then, this team is going to struggle. And there are times where he forces shots. He takes some bad shots even on smaller guys, but he doesn't have the strength yet to truly back them down and just get a much easier shot. So part of it is that. Part of it is, not trusting teammates all the way to find better shots. So I think that's something he's going to have to work on throughout this year. But, tomorrow, October 4th, Las Vegas, we're getting the matchup. Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson, like you said, unprecedented. You have a French team coming over and playing overtime, or not overtime elite. You have them coming over and playing the G League Ignite team. It's crazy. Like it's a great opportunity for, we're only in the preseason, and this game means a lot to a lot of people. So it's exciting to watch, and I think that's that's going to give us a really good glimpse of what we should expect for the rest of the season as far as those two guys playing. Um, that's what I've got on Wembanyama. I don't want to go too long, but I would encourage everybody, if you have questions, if you have some comments, feel free to request to come on up and speak. We'd love to have you. But I'm going to get Evan going on Scoot Henderson, because Scoot's a great name for him because the kid can move. Thumbs up if you can hear him, guys. All right. Let me try something real quick. That's pretty wild. Great. Well, this is something new, everybody. We have someone. I'm going to bring you up. Who doesn't enjoy a little bit of chaos? It's not even March yet, but we're getting some madness. All right. All right. Pat O, I assume you're not related to Sandra. Come on up, man.
Not related to Sandra. Quick question. Is this going to come down to a Wembanyama talent, Scooter talent versus personality type of a draft pick?
Oh, I love that question. That's fantastic. I think it's going to be a number of factors. I think it's going to be a matter of talent, but I also think it's going to be a matter of what the Spurs do at the trade deadline rather. If they go out and they trade a bunch of wings, or they get rid of Jakob Poeltl, I think it's very obvious that they are positioning themselves to get Wembanyama. If they go out and they trade a couple of their wing guys, maybe they trade one or two of the guys they just drafted this year, I think it's an obvious Scoot move. But if it's all an even playing field, all even, I would say it probably comes down to personality and what those guys want. I mean, I can see Victor Wembanyama being a very Spursy guy. He has literally played for two Spurs players already. So I am sure they have talked to him and he is familiar with what they do in San Antonio, whereas Scoot Henderson is coming from a completely different environment. It's G League Ignite. He's a teenager who's basically been tasked with running a team of grown men. And some other younger prospects as well. So I hope I gave you the answer you were looking for. I didn't want to beat around the bush. Didn't want to deviate from there. But more directly, I think yes, it's going to be a little bit of talent. I think it may come down to a lot of personality and preferences.
Perfect. You answered it perfectly, and I'm just now going to start looking at the tea leaves.
Love it.
Appreciate it.
What was the question?
So he was asking, for Scoot and Victor Wembanyama, basically, is it going to come down to like a discussion of or a comparison of their personalities, or more so talent, or some sort of combination?
I would say a little bit of both. Ben, we were talking about this earlier. Excuse me. I'll keep this, PG-13 for the most part. When it comes down to Scoot, this kid has already secured a major bag with Puma. He's pretty much being trained with NBA-ready guys. He has mentors that are keeping him off of social media to really just solidify him to not screw up his number one top prospect-esque talent, just because there's only going to be a couple teams realistically at this moment that could use a point guard that really fits like his niche. And I'm gonna try and without getting too on the cultural side, Victor has kind of like that Spursy type of feel for a prospect, not just because he's from France, but he just brings something not only we need, but his personality. Like when he was in Dallas over the summer, I have a friend in the area. He was telling me just all about how he was acting, how he's interacting with fans. Super humble, super nice. And realistically, that's, what kind we need. A little, kind of like Sohan, just how people were saying, this really cheeky guy. Overall, someone you would just love to have that brings more of a flair to this team. That's also really a serious prospect that you can use, really is in the franchise king seat off rip as soon as he gets to San Antonio. So that's Victor. But for Scoot, man, I just can't really see that. I can't really see that. I see him more as a Rocket, more as maybe a Charlotte Hornet. He is such a unique prospect. He's a point guard in a small forwards build that is so super explosive. We'll talk about him specifically in a second, but he's a franchise type of guy right there. If he's not happy in San Antonio, if he doesn't have a good interview in San Antonio, he's going to be like Chet, how they treated him in Orlando, not turning in your medicals, only showing up maybe for one workout, not really even showing up, just not even really working out, just doing body tests. Yeah, stuff like that. So, but we'll see. It's kind of too early to say. I didn't really want to get in that too early just now. But yeah, that's almost clear as day for me, coming from an analyst standpoint.
So, outside of the personality stuff with Scooter, give us the quick breakdown, Evan. What are we supposed to like about him? What does he do well? What should we be wary of? What is Scoot Henderson's deal, man?
And when you say personality, the kid has a great personality, a great smile. Overall, as a 17-year-old, handled the G League very well. Only started 4 games last year as a pure point guard. 6'3", I think a 6'7" wingspan, top of my head, 185, soaking wet. The kid has a body of a prototype of a man. Like, no, the body fat is just slimmed down. Eats well, has a good diet. I'm not going to be too much on his case right now, but when he tweeted that picture about a month ago with the guy who looked like John Morant standing right next to him after a workout, and you just see just a cut, just overbuilt upper body. And the week before that, he posted a Jordan pump dunk, one hand from the free throw line with ease. Then right before that, behind the back, up and under dunk with ease. I want you to imagine a prospect, 17 years old, just got his license. A first step like Derrick Rose, De'Aaron Fox, Russell Westbrook, John Morant, just as explosive as like a guy maybe like Jalen Green, Zach LaVine, Anthony Edwards, half court. Oh, blow by. Don't need to pick. Excuse me. Just quick. The change of directions from someone of that size, you just don't see that much, man. You don't see it that much. And here's the thing. This year, with more prospects joining by the hour, literally they signed another kid who's another point guard. Literally, I will promise you, the G League night. That is, they will have everything run through Scoot Henderson, everything run lineups just for him to solidify him being a number one prospect. I've heard many like top recruiters, top scouts, people saying that this guy's in the same tier as Cade, LaMelo, Anthony Edwards in terms of guards that you just cannot pass upon. So here's the thing. If you are the Spurs, who are probably going to be in that top, 4, in that 14% range of trying to get a top pick 6-7 months from now, 8 months from now, who knows? Guys, I promise you, you do not want to bring in somebody who maybe is iffy, just on the edge of maybe being here, who maybe doesn't want to be here, but is glad to be here at the same time, but is probably getting paid just to say that. Because you don't want another disgruntled star like a Zion, like a LaMelo in 8 months. You don't want that. I'm not saying that'll be Scoot. There's nothing really wrong with him as a person, as a player, but you just cannot mess that up. So in terms of him, from like what his game is, I'll wrap this up real quick, Ben. From mid-range, a god. 49% from pull-up mid-range. 46% off the pick and roll. Chris Paul-like numbers at 17 freaking years old. You do not see that every day, ladies and gentlemen. You do not see that, okay? Yes, you shoot 21.8% from 3. Yes, you're 17 years old. Yes, it's NBA range from 3. I'm not saying who cares just yet, but let's just pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes. We've seen this before. Russell Westbrook. We've seen this before in other prospects. Derrick Rose. They'll come around.
Well, and it should be noted that he moved from the high school 3-point line to the NBA 3-point line. He clearly wasn't comfortable with that transition yet, but I think with a year under his belt, and shooting more often this year, we should see that clip improve.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt, they'll have more spacing. They have a lot more shooters. You don't have to worry about Marjon Beauchamp, Dyson Daniels to get you a knockdown three anymore. And realistically, these games don't honestly matter. Like, they really don't matter. This is a G League team that's not competing for anything. These guys are paid. These guys have endorsements. They're the most popular G Leaguers, honestly, by the hour we've ever seen. And every single hour, they have something coming out to solidify themselves as just a top overall that guy. So just a backtrack here. Tomorrow when these guys play, I don't think people heard me when I went on my first rant here on this space because there's technical difficulties. When they play tomorrow, I want you to watch their matchup of when Victor Wembanyama is on the perimeter and Scoot has a half-court offensive set, and realistically, they're the stuff that they both need to work on will be on full display. Scoot Henderson needs to work on his outside shot. He's going to be trying to get to the mid-range. Psych, Victor Wembanyama coming up that lane, 8-foot wingspan, doesn't even have to jump. He just has to put his hand up, and he's going to stop it. We'll get to you in 1 second. But man, it is honestly crazy just to think that these guys are both battling potentially to be Spurs. It's super exciting. We're not really going to talk about last night's game. That was an abysmal performance. To be honest, we scored 34 points in the first half. Don't really play rookies that much.
We don't recognize that preseason game as having happened.
We don't want to talk about it.
There were injuries. Didn't play. That game never happened.
It never happened. We're focused on the look. It's only 2 weeks until the regular season. The 17th is right around the corner. So, I'll be at the preseason home opener when they play the Magic. We're going to see what a top prospect looks like in Paolo Banchero. Honestly, they're giving them the reins, him and Franz. They're going to have a 3-4 forward matchup. A positionless offensive threat that they're going to throw at us, and we're just going to be, letting them score pretty much all night.
I believe you meant to say Eurobasket god Franz Wagner.
Correct. Yes, correct.
Just making sure we're all on the same page.
Would have looked great in a Spurs jersey if we would have tanked the right way. Franz Wagner, yes, only a couple picks away.
So close.
Franz Wagner, yes. We love Josh Primo. We will wrap this up. We will wrap this space up in a second, but we do want to offer, a floor to anyone that has not only joined before, but if you are new, we will not bully you off this stage. We are here to talk about Spurs basketball and these prospects. These are one-of-one generational prospects. These guys would change the direction of this team immediately. And people would be like, oh, man, San Antonio, they got good weather down there. They got a good young team, the GOAT coach, some cool jerseys. Maybe I just want to play just because of a teenager. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Ben, go ahead.
And Fiesta reasons.
Oh, yeah, can't forget about the Fiesta. Can't forget about that. Realistically, I did talk about how, I don't think people heard this out, maybe. I forgot if this was the first rant or not. I talked about how Victor is kind of like being pushed to as a media guy to be a Spur. Many media pages, many personas, many even YouTubers are just automatically linking him to the Spurs, not just because of Tony Parker, not just because of Boris Diaw, but literally when he comes down to what the Spurs need, Jakob Poeltl may be on the move, right? Isaiah Roby, guaranteed contract, but we'll see what's going on with you. Jamie Sohan, are you the starting power forward or just a backup? The number 9 pick, that's where maybe the tiers of we don't really know what you are, and we got to see what you are. So Victor comes in, a center, a power forward, a defensive top of the key, one-of-one type of defense, how they did Evan Mobley last year. I can guarantee you, if the Spurs take Victor Wembanyama, and obviously he'll never, ever, ever spend a minute in Austin with the Austin Spurs, he will have to have, what's this reference I was going to say? He will have to have everything laid out for him on the red carpet. There's the trainers, the doctors, the medical staff, we're gonna make sure this kid is okay. The last injury he suffered, which kept him out of the EuroBasket tournament, which would have been really cool to see get some NBA prospects playing with France. It's a sporal injury. It's between the hip and the spine. Pretty much, if you were salsa dancing and you get a little hip pain right there, boom, that's it right there. And he was out for 3 to 4 months. They didn't even really showcase what the injury was. I've never heard of it before. I've had that little side pain before, and it's serious. It's super serious. For 3 or 4 days. High school basketball. You know what I'm saying, that it really got me back in the day. But from a top recruit, a 7'5", that center of gravity. We don't even know how much this kid weighs. They're hiding that for a reason. We've seen pictures with him flexing with his shirt off. We've seen him flexing in a game. As how explosive he is. He's toned for his frame. He's very toned. Obviously, he's not as nimble as what people say. Obviously, the Chet injury in a pro-am game with slippery floors doesn't really help his case. But man, from the Spurs standpoint, you just really cannot pass upon that, man. You just cannot pass upon that.
You have to shoot your shot. You have to make sure, if you're the Spurs, that you are in the bottom 3 teams of the league. You have to get those draft odds. You have to do everything you can to lower your risk of not getting the number 1 pick.
Without a doubt, definitely. And last night, just real quick about the game, the lineups that we'll see are evaluations, pretty much, in my opinion, on if you're able to handle this position. People were kind of sad, or not want to say sad, people were kind of frustrated, I guess, to see KBD in the starting lineup last night when, obviously you have Isaiah Roby, who would probably be the guy, maybe in the regular season, more fitting than Doug McDermott. Sohan, obviously, maybe with some more minutes rather than just a couple quarters of play. But, when we're thinking about it here, when we're honestly thinking about it here, these are evaluations from our forwards and our centers, obviously, of, hey, man, we have a top recruit coming in possibly next year, 7'5". He may just take your spot. If you want to be on this team, show us something. A big slash here, trade, boost your trade value. We're going to try and get you out of here for a first-round pick. Be on your best behavior. No nonsense online. Capiche? Shake hands. It's that simple.
And you said it earlier as well. I mean, this is a roster that's going to be full of experiments. I mean, we could easily see 20 different lineups throughout the course of the season, depending on injuries, of course, and who's getting sent down to Austin, who's getting shuttled back and forth. And if Jeremy Sohan kind of puts it together in the middle of the season, there's no reason for him not to start, but he's a guy who should be getting minutes in San Antonio regularly, even as the roster stands now.
Yep, without a doubt. And with the last roster spots still being in the air, obviously we didn't see Dominic Barlow last night. Kind of disappointing, maybe. Obviously he's probably going to be in Austin, but we want to see him against NBA competition. That last spot really is coming down to, in my opinion, between Romeo Langford and Keita Bates-Diop. Keita started last night, but hey, you remember last year who was the starting power forward for most of that preseason?
No,
who was he?
Tell you.
No. Let's say it.
Give it to me. I honestly can't remember.
1, 2. Luka, come on, man.
Oh,
Luka.
wow, Luka.
And then he did it. He did it. Hustle back in Orlando, and then Pop didn't let him back on the plane. He was cut the next day. Bye. You got to hustle to be a Spur, big fella. Just because you were a first round pick a couple years ago, I don't mean nothing. Peace. Goodbye.
Yeah. All right. So to reiterate, tomorrow night, watch the game. Scoot versus Wemby. It's happening. We're the Thrilla in Manila. Maybe quite not that hyped up, but should be a great game. And let's be honest, all of you guys are itching for some sort of NBA basketball. This is as close as you're going to get for the next couple of weeks. Enjoy it.
No, they got the preseason, but it's
not real basketball, Evan.
It doesn't count in your eyes, but I'm just man. I was so hyped looking at it last night. It was so good to see our guys out there. You can't even lie. But in terms of tomorrow's game, just be on the lookout for a couple guys that could be Spurs next year. Everyone knows I love me some Leonard Miller. He's going to be in the G League this year. Was obviously in the draft pool, pulled out a 6'9" dual threat point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, gain some weight a little bit, and maybe even be a small ball five. That is my guy, Leonard Miller. You heard it here last year, heard it here tonight. Maybe in the lottery, maybe a little bit beforehand. There's 2 or 3 guys. Everyone from that's listening, I've recognized a lot of people. You guys remember Josh Giddey. You guys know Dyson Daniels, a 6'8", 6'9", dual point guard. If we don't get Scoot, if we don't get Wemby, if we really win 30 games and we don't get a top 4 pick, and we really have to settle for a Leonard Miller or Anthony Black out of Arkansas, just know that we have a point guard of the future. Our past first Drew Holiday point guard is going to set us up, and not be the guy, not be the first scoring option, but be the guy that you need for a contending team later down the line that would want to be a Spur. So those are those 2 guys to look out for. City Cisco as well. I'm saying that right, correct, Ben?
I believe so, yes. I believe that's how it pronounces his name.
Yes, City Cisco played alongside Leonard Miller at the FIBA versus USA games. I forgot when that was. That was in April, March. John Montero, a bunch of other draft prospects were attending and playing for them. And when it comes down to it, everyone needs that 6'8", 6'9", just overall, just when I say a raw, high-flying prospect that has a little bit of flair to his game. You'll hear a lot about Baba Miller. We'll talk about him later down the line. That's City Sissoko. I can't even say his name sometimes.
City Sissoko.
City Sissoko, man. Okay, say that fast 3 times. You probably can't. I guarantee you he will have multiple workouts with the Spurs 6-7 months down from the line. This guy is a solidified stud. May not be in the first round, but a second round lock, definitely draftable. Everybody needs a guy like this on their roster. Super great kid overall. I'm hearing great things about him. And man, I just can't wait to see him tomorrow.
Yeah. Just gonna, a lot of great matchups. And of course the possibly 1 versus 2 NBA draft picks rather. They can't go at the same time. That would be crazy.
Yes, sir.
But, I think that's what we've got for tonight. We're going to come back. We're going to be doing this pretty regularly. We're going to be doing draft discussions. We're going to talk more about the trade deadline when we get there in February. We're going to talk about how, the Spurs outlook, inevitably when they won 40 games. No, I'm just kidding. When they've gotten their 20th win 3/4 of the way through the season, we'll have everything for you guys. We're going to do a lot of NBA draft discussion. We're going to have some prospect watches for you. Those will be written up. We're going to talk about those guys. We're going to bring on some people from Project Spurs. They're going to talk about some stuff they're writing. Some great corporate synergy going on. The stuff you guys really love to see. But in the meantime, make sure you follow Evan. He's here. You can follow me at _Boomstein. Of course, follow Project Spurs. Quick shout out to Joe Garcia hooking us up with the YouTube feed and all the video stuff. That's my guy. 2 Shots Podcast. If you want to go follow him, we will be back. We'll throw another Spaces on the schedule and let you guys know. But in the meantime, we appreciate you. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. Give us all of the questions, all the smoke, as they say.
Yes, indeed. So this year obviously is going to be a disappointing year from the Spurs standpoint. Not a lot of wins coming, obviously. So you want to be ahead of the schedule when it comes down to knowledge of these prospects. If you have any questions, feel free to DM us at any point in time. If you need a follow back, just let me know, and we can talk all day. If I'm free and you want to know about a kid that's going to be in the second round a year or 2 from now that's playing in Croatia, if I don't know about him, I'll look it up, and we'll see if he can be a Spur in a couple of years. If not,
and his name is probably Lukas Samanic.
No, but he's gonna be playing for the Maine Celtics, and I can't wait till he comes to Austin just to
the
get
Red Claws.
Good thumbs up from afar. Hey man, good to see you. He definitely did not respond to my DM, but it's okay. We will be back probably sometime next week. When it comes down to it, guys, like I said, if you need any information about prospects, DM your boy, DM Ben. follow Project Spurs. We'll be ahead of schedule, not like any other team, pretty much, because we know we're going to be bad. So we will be giving you guys all the information you need, honestly, from day one. So that's it. If you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to just to message us, and we'll go from there.
All right. Until next time, folks.